Okay, so what we're doing is we're gonna start at the month. I'm gonna say what I predicted what would happen. You're gonna say what you predicted. Then we're gonna say what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, I was
You're
all
looking at
right.
me for like.
No, I was looking at my stuff is like right in front of your face, so I was looking at my predictions and my
Oh,
notes.
okay.
All right,
Good.
let me pull that up and perfect. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Hylian here, and welcome to the very final episode of the Fairy Fountain podcast. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host, Slime. How
Hello.
does it feel to be on the last episode ever for this podcast?
Um, I don't know, cause I enjoyed doing these for sure. It's just it was a lot of work. I forgot to get the news sometimes, but I think that the other guys are a little happier because they were like something was missing from the original show. So we'll definitely still be talking about news. The news will be back in the main show, at least the bigger stuff, and then we'll have direct videos all year round.
Exactly.
So it's not completely gone. In fact, I mean, I may keep the Fairy Fountain name specifically for news related discussions. So
Yeah, sweet. But yeah, welcome to the recap video. We're just gonna go month by month talking about the biggest things that happened during the year and as well as listing our predictions for what we thought and just to see how wrong we were.
yeah,
All right, let's get started with what happened in January. I mean, I think it was a pretty simple month. I predicted Pokemon Legends and we were gonna get a Pokemon Direct. Was half right.
yeah. I the same thing. I had Pokemon Legends, Pokemon Direct with Mystery Dungeon 2 Deluxe, which I predicted again this year. And Legends DLC and Pokemon Sleep. We didn't hear anything about Sleep. We didn't hear about anything about Mystery Dungeon. We did get Legends DLC, and also Pokemon didn't even happen this month. It happened next month. So
Yeah. But I mean, Pokemon Day, but what really happened in January was Pokemon Legends and Banjo-Kazooie made its way onto N64 NSO.
yeah.
But
So
let's rapid fire pretty much how we feel about Pokemon Legends. Did it live up to our expectations?
yes. After spending some time with a game and a time away from the game, I still haven't finished it. I've seen the conclusion. It's just not my cup of tea for Pokemon. I know that this is a better way to recontextualize Gotta Catch 'Em All, and they've kind of been doing that, especially after Let's Go. Just there's just so many Pokemon and so many different ideas that Game Freak has. Because again, a lot of people blame Game Freak for their problems. It's not Game Freak; it's Pokemon Company. Game Freak has
Yeah.
a lot of great ideas, and this is one of them. And I don't think it's a bad game. It's just not my, I don't really care about researching the Pokemon, but it is a very good step, step up and also away from the traditional formula. So it's a great game all around. I can kind of see what how there could be some graphical issues, but comparing that to Scarlet and Violet later in the year, I think this game is very beautiful. I know what they were going for with the art style. It looks great. Generally speaking, there's some blips here and there, but again, it's just not my style of game. I'd rather be going to gyms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and story is great.
Which,
Story and music are great as well.
which on the contrary, this year has been a big year for me because if you've seen any of our videos, you know I'm not a big Pokemon guy. But this and Scarlet and Violet, which we'll talk about later, they really changed my perspective on the series. I mean, I hadn't really touched one outside of like 5 or 6 hours since Gen 6, but I went into Legends. I think I played like a good 10, 15 hours. I didn't finish it. I don't think I came anywhere close, but the whole concept of just collecting Pokemon, filling out a Pokedex, I had a lot of fun with it. It was fun to do all the little objectives they wanted you to do with each Pokemon. I thought it was a lot of fun, but
Yeah,
I admit the farther into the year I got, the more it kind of just slipped out of my memory outside of
yeah,
just comparing it to Scarlet and Violet.
yeah.
But, I think that's about it for January. It was a pretty light month, but it usually is early on in the year. February, I thought we were going to see not a single new release and a Nintendo Direct.
I don't think I had anything for February either. I have a Nintendo Direct as well. I also predicted that they would announce Superstars DLC, Wind Waker Twilight Princess, Mario Kart 9, or DLC, Mario spin-off, with I was hoping Mario and Luigi. I predicted that again this year. Uh, Hopefully I'm right this time. We would get a Kirby release date, a Fire Emblem remake, which was rumored at the time, Xenoblade 3, and or more information on Xenoblade 3 because I believe it was announced at this point, right? Or did I
Yes.
just
No,
did I
no, it was not. Xenoblade
did
3
I
got
predict
announced in the February
Xenoblade
Direct.
3? What? I predicted what? Oh, the rumors.
That's right.
Yeah,
Rumors were going
yeah.
around back in September.
So
August,
technically I
September,
called
yeah.
it, but I
I
had
mean,
some
to be
reasons.
fair,
Yeah.
um, I had Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD in my wild card, but this was back when we all thought Tears of the Kingdom was going to come out this year, so I
Yeah.
did not personally believe it was going to happen. For the February Direct, though, my two predictions, I did a lot less than you, just because I was like trying to be more vague about it. I did predict Xenoblade 3 was going to be announced, although I thought it was going to release in the holiday, which it didn't. And I thought that rumored 2D DK game from 2021 was going to come out this last summer. It didn't happen, but what actually happened in February is we did get a Nintendo Direct. It announced Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, a Warrior spinoff for Three Houses.
Kind of a Fire
Mario,
Emblem game, kind of right.
yeah, yeah. Mario Strikers got announced and came out that year
There's
in
a
June,
spin-off.
which was good. We saw more info on Kirby and Splatoon 3 Salmon Run, which were nice little additions, but nothing too mind-blowing. Nintendo Switch Sports got announced to be for coming out in April, which we'll talk about that later.
This is where we got mouthful mode, I believe, too, right? Or was that earlier?
Yes, that was what was
Okay.
announced for Kirby. Mario Kart DLC got announced after 5 years of the game being out on Switch,
Yeah.
so they really took their time there. But overall, the DLC that we've gotten so far has been fantastic, and we have another whole year worth of content, so that's exciting. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got officially announced for a summer, I think it was September at the time, but it got pushed forward later on in the year. Advance Wars got its April release date, which we'll talk about that later.
I called it.
Po-
I'm just kidding.
No, you did not. The Portal games got announced for Switch. Live Alive did. We saw a remaster for Chrono Cross, and Earthbound Beginnings came to NSO. And then we also saw Assassin's Creed, I think it was the Ezio collection, come out.
Yes.
And Majora's Mask came to NSO. But that's not the only event we got. Pokemon also had its usual annual Pokemon Presents around Pokemon Day, where we got the reveal of what was it? The Daybreak expansion for Arceus.
I don't even know what it added still to this day. So
That's fair. And what I didn't expect to see is I really did not expect to see Pokemon Gen 9 get announced for this year, but it did. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were officially announced. Anything specific you want to go deeper on?
Did not. I thought it was gonna be Detective Pikachu 2.
I did too.
I did not expect a whole new generation already so soon after Arceus. Arceus was such a great game that I thought they would consider making DLC. They kind of did. Technically, it was downloadable content. But yeah, it was definitely not, what's the word? Like, not,
Expected?
no, not, it's very bold of them to announce a new
Okay.
generation like that. But we'll talk about more about Scarlet and Violet as we come along. But again, it's just a surprise out of nowhere.
What I think was surprising was how fantastic that February direct was. We had like 4 or 5 brand new game reveals in that direct.
Yeah, no, that was a
Well,
great
I'll admit,
direct.
I admit a couple of them didn't live up to expectations, but we'll talk about that later. But it still was a hefty direct.
I mean,
and I think the announcement of a Fire Emblem spinoff, Mario Strikers, Mario Kart DLC, and a new Xenoblade all in one direct, you can't complain much.
like going into 2022 with our predictions, I literally was like, this is going to be 2017 too. And although it didn't completely meet those expectations, the February direct pretty much met those expectations. Like, we were like, oh, we're in it for a great year, and then it kind of fell flat toward the end, but it was
In
still a
terms
great
of
year.
it being In terms of it being 2017 too, there was just a Zelda and a Mario themed hole missing, and that was
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
But yeah, Earthbound Beginnings. I'm surprised they make such a big deal out of those coming this late into the NSO life, but
I mean,
whatever they want to
understandable
do.
why it's a big deal, but it's not. What's not understandable is why is it so late.
Exactly. But moving on to March, I expected nothing except Triangle Strategy.
I got Triangle Strategy. This is where I put Mystery Dungeon and Kirby.
Mhm. Oh, I didn't put Kirby in March. Ooh, I'm stupid.
You put Kirby. Did you put Kirby in April?
I put Kirby in May.
Oh, I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
But regardless, in March we got Triangle Strategy, uh, Kirby of the Forgotten Land, Mario Kart DLC Wave 1, which came with the first 8 tracks of the 48. Is this Persona 4 Ultimate?
yeah. Arena.
P4U?
No, P4 Arena Ultimax.
Okay. I forgot that game came out this year. Oh,
Yeah.
well, last year, but
So,
whatever.
it's not that big of a deal, but we were like, we got excited because Persona was coming to the Switch, and it wasn't the Persona that we wanted. But sooner or later, we'll get what we want.
Talk about that later. Um, but yeah, this was a pretty solid month. I didn't get a chance to play Triangle Strategy, but the Mario Kart DLC and Kirby was fantastic.
Yeah, the Mario Kart First Wave, great way to come back into the swing of things. The new we've talked about it extensively, and we will continue to talk about it extensively. I don't want to talk too much about it, but right out of the gate, though, it was still a fantastic first wave. There it came with a few problems, but I think later down the year, it got better. Even I'm talking about the first wave, it got better. And then Kirby. Kirby was fantastic as well. I still haven't finished it. There's so much content in that game. If you haven't picked it up yet, why haven't you? It is now, I could say with definitively it is an essential Switch game to get.
Yes.
It was fantastic. You can even skip Scar Allies and go straight to this. Like, this is great.
No, for real. I know I keep referring to this every video I can, but it broke my heart that I could not put it in my top 3 for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
But Kirby is such a strong title that if Star Allies especially disappointed you, do not wait on this one. Hop in. It's a fantastic 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Moving on to April. I was a silly, goofy person and put Advance Wars in April.
I also put it in April.
Well, you see, there was some certain current world events going on, not the Rona for once, but it
Yeah.
got delayed indefinitely. Still don't have a release date for
It
it, which is
Surprisingly
very cool.
enough, it did actually come out.
It did come out.
It released, but then was immediately retracted.
One
Um,
person got to play it for a little while because their pre-order unlocked for some reason.
yeah.
And they got to play it for a while. They posted some stuff on Twitter, but it did eventually get taken from them, and
I wonder
Nintendo was very scared to say the words Advance Wars.
how close were they to release when they announced that? Was like days or
It
like a
was
week?
like they announced the delay like a month before.
Oh,
I
it was a
think it was like
month.
early
Okay.
March.
'Cause I was
Yeah, it
wondering.
wasn't like,
I'm just wondering if there's any physical copies like that were ever in
oh, they're
circulation.
printed. They're printed sitting in a warehouse somewhere.
Like I don't. I'm sure there has to be like someone in like Mexico or something that has played it. Like there has to be, right?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it really, because it's always Mexico that leaks the copies
Yeah.
really early.
I also have Legends the DLC here as well, but that doesn't matter because it already came out in February, so doesn't matter.
This was back when I was really vague with my predictions and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is easy to read. But what actually happened in April was we got that remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, of Chrono Cross. We got the release of Switch Sports, Lego Skywalker Saga, and honestly, probably what was my favorite of the month was Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
I put that
I
for you.
talk about that. I talked that a bit in my Game of the Year video, the Game of the Year video. Go check that one out. That was it. Wasn't really my surprise highlight of the year. I knew it was going to be great, but
Yeah,
play the game.
yeah.
We also got Mario Golf on NSO too. Just want to throw that out
Oh
there.
yeah. So Mario Golf raised the question like Game Boy could be coming this year. Obviously, it didn't. There's still a big human shaped hole, or yeah, I think it's human shaped hole in Mario Golf there. So still very
Yeah.
interesting. But later down the year, we got the answer to that, which is no. Even though Game Boy might still be coming, that human shaped hole won't actually ever be filled. Um, and what was the other thing? Switch Sports.
Yes.
Great game when it came out. Uh, not worth $60 at launch. That's the first time I can actually say
It
that.
didn't come out at six. Okay, it didn't come out at $60. It came out $40 digitally,
Oh,
and
okay.
if you bought it physically with the leg strap, it was 50.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
But it still
It
was a
was
hard sell at
it was
50.
lacking in content after purchasing.
Yes.
Actually, very much considering selling it. I've only ever done that for 3 Switch games because I'm kind of a collector now and I want to get as many games as possible. I'm very bad at myself because I used to play all the Pokemon games, and then when a new generation would release, I would collect them all up, sell them so I can get the new game, which was a mistake. Um,
Yeah.
but there's 3 games that I definitely was just like, get the fuck out, and I'm very much considering that with Switch Sports. Metopia and Pokemon Snap are included, so I was just like, very, and I'm not because Pokemon Snap was disappointing. It was just because it was just not my game at all, like at all.
Yeah.
But it was just not up to expectations when it released, and it continued to piss me off as the year went on. So
No, that's fair. So, I mean, we'll talk about this later, but they literally had to delay an update.
yeah,
Yeah. But moving on from that, let's go into May, where my only prediction was Kirby and the Forgotten Land was going to come out. I
I
was very wrong.
I have a Mario spin-off here, which again could have been Mario and Luigi or Mario Sports. Um, I also have a Pokemon Direct here with Pokemon Sleep, talking more about Pokemon Sleep according to my predictions. Um, Talking more about Legends DLC, which again doesn't matter. A random mobile game, which technically I was right, but I was also in the
Yeah.
wrong month. And Detective Pikachu 2, which neither of those things happened. So
Yeah. But what actually happened in May, it was a pretty light month. We had Pac-Man Museum, I think it was came out. That was pretty good. I didn't play a ton of it, but it was a good, enjoyable game. We had an Indie World and Kirby 64 came to NSO, and I don't remember a single thing that was in that Indie World besides I think that was the one with the Dark Souls like the Souls like game you play as a crab.
oh, I have no idea. I literally put Indie World, and then I watched the Indie World. I'm like, I don't remember any of this. I think this is the one with Ollie Ollie World, I think, and that was about it. That's the only thing I can
I think
remember.
Ollie Ollie came out in like February, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so I don't
So
know. I just put, as you see, I put Direct and everything that's in it, and then
yeah, this was
I put Indie
a
World
week ago.
nothing because I didn't know anything that was in it.
Yeah. Well, moving on to June, we're actually getting through this a lot faster than I thought we were going
Yeah.
to. Um, I thought Mario Rabbids was going to come out in June, and I thought we were going to get an E3 Nintendo Direct.
So did I. Uh,
Oh,
I have Pokemon Sleep, Mario Party DLC, and Splatoon 3, which none of those things happened. I was completely wrong there. I also thought we were going to get an E3 Direct with 2D DK, Metroid Prime trilogy, um, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess again, Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4 tease, and Mario Party DLC. I was way too optimistic.
so for my E3 Direct, I thought we were going to see the next Fire Emblem game that would come out in 2023. I thought we'd be seeing that Prime remaster that would come out sometime in the fall. I thought we'd see a teaser trailer for Metroid Prime 4, which would be getting a 2023 release date. I thought we'd see a new 3D Mario game that would also come out in 2023, and I thought it would end with a big Breath of the Wild 2 story and gameplay reveal, and that would be coming out in November.
Yeah, this entire month is
Ouch.
awful. It
So
was
what really happened?
Yeah, so you can go ahead and
What?
say what really happened, but even
Oh,
still,
I don't know if I want to. What really happened was we got Mario Strikers Battle League, which we'll talk about that later. Omori came out on Switch. Fall Guys got its free to play like reboot on Switch. We got Fire Emblem Warriors coming out the same month. Portal came out. We got the Cuphead Delicious Last Course DLC. Monster Hunter Sunbreak. Pokemon Snap came to NSO. We did get a Xenoblade 3 Direct that talked about a bunch of stuff that was in the game alongside an expansion pass. And the Nintendo Direct we've all been waiting for. It was a partner showcase.
But it was still good.
It was good, but we thought those were dead.
Yeah.
It gave us a look at Monster Hunter Sunbreak. We did see another look and an October release date for Rabbids. We finally got Persona 5 coming to Switch alongside 4 and 3 portable. Nier Automata was announced to be coming to Switch in October. A Mega Man Battle Network collection got announced, and Pac-Man World Repack got announced. So not horrible.
Yeah, not horrible. It's great, but where are the first party titles? Does Nintendo not have anything for the rest of the year? Because at this point, this is what sucks about this. Because at this point, we already had release dates for Splatoon 3 and Xenoblade, and everything else that we knew about the year had already came out. Where were the first party games? We had nothing.
We knew all we knew at that point was Zelda was delayed out of the year. Xenoblade and Splatoon kind of got their release dates flipped. It looked like. And I don't even remember why E3 didn't happen last year. I really don't. But
I think it didn't happen. But just
no, it didn't. No, if E3 would have happened, we probably would have gotten a direct. But E3 did not happen either digitally or in person last year. It's coming back for 2023, but last year it just didn't happen. But Mario Strikers was underwhelming. Nobody's shocked because it was just like 9 or 10 characters, very generic battle core. It's not really much of a single player aspect. That hurt because I think it's next level to develop that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They do so much better. Like they just came off of Mansion 3 and they give us this.
Yeah.
It hurts, but moving on from that, Fire Emblem Warriors came out. I think you skipped it. I played like 5 hours of it, and it was... I don't know if it's just I don't like the Dynasty Warriors formula when it's not Zelda, but I dropped it pretty quickly.
I think this is literally what's very hard about making a sequel spin-off, which is what this is. Like, you have to have like a dedicated hard fan base, because it's hard to sell to the general FE community because it's a Warriors game, and unless you were a super fan of specifically 3 houses, this would be interesting for you. And unless you're a Warriors fan, in which case you would probably pick it up too. But with Zelda Hyrule Warriors, or the original, and the original Fire Emblem Warriors, that was a sell because it wasn't specifically attached to a game. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, on the other hand, was tied to a huge game. It was, people may have not liked the story implications, but people still bought it and enjoyed it because it was an easier sell, because it was Breath of the Wild we're talking about. It's not like they made it's not like they made a Hyrule Warriors based off of, a link to the past or something. It's or Spirit Tracks or something.
It's like Breath of the Wild sold like 25 million around the time like the Warriors game came out. 3 Houses has like 3 million sales. Yeah. It's a much smaller demographic you're really selling to, in a much smaller genre that not as many people like.
Yeah. So.
But what I think was my highlight of the month was the Cuphead DLC. That stuff was some good shit.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was lots of Cuphead around this time. The show was great. I haven't, at the time, I played through a little bit of Cuphead just to try it again. I enjoyed my time with it. It's not something I can just sit for a long time because I get very angry very easily. But as far as I know, the DLC is still, high as quality as the main game. It was maybe a little too long of the wait for the amount of content, but it's understandable because of who they are and what they're doing.
But it was cheap DLC. It was like $7 or $8. I have no complaints with what they gave us.
Yeah, no. I did watch Jack play it. It's great DLC. Not something to sleep on, but and I need to. It's a game that, for me at least, because I'm a very angry person, I can only hop in so often. So
I get that. Okay, as we're moving on from what kind of was a disappointing June, let's move into July, where I thought we were going to see the release of Splatoon 3 and Detective Pikachu 2.
I have Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Mario Kart 9.
You really predict Mario Kart 9?
Yes, I think in the video I said Mario Kart 9 and or D or not and or DLC, and I just decided to stick with 9. So,
Oh my God. I must have like argued with you up like the wall with that one because holy crap.
or remember the rumors at the time were
Well,
pointing towards a
yeah, you know
sequel.
what? That's true, but I'll give you that. That there was rumors going around about that time. What actually happened was we got the remasters of the first two Klonoa games. Pokemon Puzzle League came to NSO. The first wave of Strikers DLC came out, and I don't remember who they added character-wise, so it doesn't matter. Um, Xenoblade 3 and Kirby's Avalanche came to Super Nintendo Online.
Where are we at? It was
So
July.
it
Klonoa, Puzzle League, Strikers, Xenoblade, Kirby's. Yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah.
I think the only really big thing that happened in July was the release of Xenoblade 3, which is nothing to scoff at because both of us here ranked it very highly on our Game of the
Yeah,
Year
it
lists.
is. It is a fantastic game. Something I didn't talk about is just the villains are probably the weakest part of the game, but other than that, the game is polished compared to two. It's
Mhm.
basically to say this. Two, has definitely a better story. I would say generally speaking, but I feel like they sacrificed so much time into the story that the rest of the game suffered. So the side quests were
Right.
not as high quality, and it just all in all wasn't as polished as the first game. Now this game is polished, polished, polished. Like this is,
Yes.
it has a great story, not as good as the first game because the villains are kind of weak, but the game all around is just perfect. It pushed the series to its limits while also just having a perfectly well balanced game. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like the story in 3 a little bit more than 2, but that just might be because I haven't played it in almost half a decade.
I think literally in my I mean I prefer Xenoblade 3 to 2 for sure, but just comparing there you can't compare Z or N, either of them, or even Yorin. You can't compare
That's
them
fair.
to fucking the likes of
Jin,
Jin and
Mallows.
Malos. Like even
That's
fucking
fair.
Amalthus. You can't compare them.
I'll give you the villains arc because I do think the villains in 2 are much better than 3, but
And also,
I
I'm just talking straight up main story. The story in this
yeah,
game as a whole, which includes side quests and the things with the colonies, make this game a better game than two. But because of
I will
the main antagonist of the main story, just being generally weaker
that's
than
fair.
two's, I think two has a better main story overall.
I think I'm looking at it more so from like a emotional perspective. Like I definitely had a reaction at the end of 2, but I was full on sobbing as the credits rolled on 3.
Oh, I can tell you that I think that the hardest hitting parts, which because it was pretty stagnant, because you had this world of mystery and what was going on, but once you figured out what everything was going on, that stretch between like maybe end of 3 or beginning of 4 up until till 5, but then at the end of 5 it just fucking the shit hits the fan and just the entirety of the end of chapter 4 and the end of chapter 5 and 6 is like the best parts of the game. I think that
Yeah.
you might have cried harder, but I think you probably cried more often in 2, just generally speaking. You cried
I
harder
have
in 3, or I don't think you did, but I'm just saying
I
generally speaking.
well, my thing is, like I said, it's been a long time since I played 2, so I don't really remember much of the story besides the ending. I don't really remember crying during 2 story that much. I might have
Okay,
just
no,
been like,
maybe not like
yeah,
literally crying, but like
I
just
know,
like
but I don't remember having much of like emotional strain. But I think I'm due for a replay of 2 because
so
I played both 1 and 3 this year.
yeah.
So I mean, it's my missing piece.
So let's say this: 3 has less highs but higher highs. Xenoblade
I
2
can get
has
yeah.
more highs but not as high as three's highs.
Yeah, that's
If
I
that
think
makes
that's a
sense.
good way of putting it. Like I love all 3, don't get me wrong, but
And pretty much no
I think
lows. 3 has no
it
lows.
could It could just be recency bias, to be fair.
Yeah, but I know. I like I said, I still prefer 3 over 2. Again, 2 is a mess. That's nothing to scoff at. But the
Yeah.
story is just it hit like I right now, as far as I know in the story, I don't give a two shits about N. He's a fucking idiot. He's a bitch. But Jin, like, he will always stick with you, I think.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
Because he's not even really a villain. He's definitely malleable, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
no, it was always Malos that was more
Yeah.
just cut and dry villain.
Malos and Amalthus, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And Albus, if you want to count him. I'm just kidding. No, he doesn't count. Is that a spoiler?
Anyways,
Did I just spoil like the entirety of
I'm
the
just
Xenoblade
gonna
lore?
keep on going. I don't think it's one if we don't dwell on it. All right, let's move on to August, where I thought we'd be seeing a new 2D Donkey Kong developed by Nintendo.
Ooh.
I did not get that.
That was the only thing you have for August?
That is the only thing I no. Mine are like very vague outside of like direct months.
Oh, okay. I got Mario Party DLC and Mario and Rabbids, which I was wrong on both accounts, so we can move.
It is what it is. August was a pretty good month. We got the surprise release of Kirby's Dream Buffet after it was announced about a month prior. Wave Race came out on N64 Online. We got the release of Pac-Man World's Repack. We got a Pokemon Presents that I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember anything about, so I'll be giving that one.
I didn't even put anything there. It was just more information on spin-offs and
Okay.
Scarlet and Violet. There's nothing new in there.
So nothing major in that. We also got Wave 2 of Mario Kart's DLC, and
I'm sorry. I think this was the tease of Red versus Ash, that event.
oh, it was, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty significant, but it's like not that big of a deal still. I was hoping for Let's Go 2 at that point.
Well, this is a aside, but I also remember why I don't remember that Pokemon Presents. It happened the week I was proposing to my fiance. So I was kind of distracted.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't miss much, so as long as you played Scarlet and Violet now, you didn't miss anything.
He watched it on one of our drives, and he was underwhelmed. Yeah, but anyways.
Whatever. At that point, we didn't need any more info. We were Pokemon'd out, but once Scarlet and Violet came out, it was fine.
Exactly. Splatoon 3 got its big direct ahead of its launch. It announced DLC, a new story campaign coming out in 2023. The fact that it would be having seasonal updates rather than what 2 and 1 did with like weekly stuff. The tricolor battles for Splatfest, the catalog, which is a seasonal thing, and then we got a look into the main game story. Yeah, that was quite a good month, actually. Mario Kart was a good way to start the month. It had a good few number of fan favorites. It had Waluigi Pinball and Calamari Desert come back. Splatoon 3 was a pretty good direct. I remember having like a good bit of hype going out of that direct. If I remember correctly, you were kind of underwhelmed.
So, yeah. So where I stood was at I don't know if I finished the Octo expansion at that point. I'm not sure. But as far as I could tell, it was just more Splatoon. Because as a person who hadn't played Splatoon prior, other than the single player, I was like, cool, right. I'm excited for the story. I don't know where it's gonna go because they didn't really go too much deep into that. But I didn't know jack shit about the multiplayer, and I was going in blind. As far as I knew from that perspective, nothing has changed. It was just more Splatoon, which I was just like, they could have done more, especially if it's like a whole, instead of like a 2.5 like expansion, it was just a sequel with not much not much going on. So until I played it, I had a lot more fun with it, but at that point I was kind of disappointed. Mario Kart, again, we don't really need to talk about a whole lot. Fan favorites came out this one, but it's really the first and the last that really matter for this
exactly. But yeah, it was a pretty uneventful month, all things considered. Pac-Man Repack really wasn't my thing. I picked it up. I think that it just played a little too tight and slow for what I want in like a platformer, but I'm sure it has really good parts that I just didn't get to.
It's like Mario. I mean, it would be even more uneventful if it was mine, because it would be Mario Party DLC, which I don't play Mario Party, and also Mario and Rabbids, because who plays Mario and Rabbids? Put your hand down.
Hi. All right, moving on to September, where I thought we were gonna see the Metroid Prime remaster and a Nintendo Direct that would announce, wait for it, Pikmin 4 for summer 2023 and Star Fox coming out in the spring. I got one right.
Woo!
I don't know if it's gonna be summer yet, but I got one right, and it was the one that I needed to be right.
Yes.
So
Finally.
that felt good. That
Yeah.
felt so good.
I want that to happen for I want that to be my thing for um I want that to happen for me with Mario and Luigi. I want it to return so bad.
I do too. I miss it a lot. I really would love a good Mario and Luigi game right about now.
There seems to be a weird lack of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I feel like something has changed on your predictions list.
You see here, at this point with Wind Waker Twilight Princess, I don't think they're coming out until 2024, just because why release them same year as Breath of the Wild 2? But also, why the hell were they not released in 2022 is beyond me. I guess they weren't super forward thinking about it.
I thought they were on your predictions, weren't they?
No, they were a wild card. I thought they could happen in the first half of the year, but I literally said in my thing, but I doubt it. Because I mean, going into 2022, I really thought we were going to see the release of Breath of the Wild. I really thought that was a lock for November. It would not see any more delays.
But then when you saw it got delayed, then you're like, Wind Waker is definitely happening.
I probably did put it in towards like the October, November things and like an updated like prediction down the line, and that was back when like Jeff Grubb, all of them were being like, oh yeah, we're gonna get the remasters of those two. We're gonna get the Metroid Prime remaster. It was like they were like, oh, it's gonna be a GameCube holiday.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, but
anyways, it just seems like it's the 11th of the new year, and
yeah. You're getting your $20 in a couple days. Sit your butt down. Patience.
we haven't technically said it on the podcast.
Oh
so
no, we did make we made a bet last year. He won.
We talked about it pretty much every month. That I was like, we're getting closer. I was like,
until it happens, I am never going to shut up about those ports because I know they exist. I know they exist. They do. I don't know why they weren't released in 2022. There was a golden opportunity.
We've had the same feeling with Skyward Sword as well. There was rumors going around since before even the Switch came out that Skyward Sword would have a remaster. So I feel like they're in the same boat.
It's going to happen before the Switch era is done. I will say that. Yeah. It's just now apparently wasn't the time. All right, what did you predict for September?
I have, I had a Nintendo Direct with Mario Kart 9 DLC for 2023.
There you go.
DK 2D, the final look for it to be released later in. Wait, did I not? Oh yeah, so it's been teased all year. It was supposed to release this. Like in September. Okay. Yeah. It was the final look right before it released. The Metroid Prime trilogy final look was also gonna release this month. The Breath of the Wild 2 final look, which was gonna release in November. And GBA and GBC Online, which I didn't get anything right. So.
You know, we should have guessed, like, when we were going into January of this year, and we were still calling it Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah. So, September saw the release of Splatoon 3. Tunic came to the platform. The Life is Strange Arcadia Bay collection did. Strikers Wave 2 came out. And we did get our big Nintendo Direct for the fall. Fire Emblem Engage got announced for January, which, I mean, if it was announced in June, that would have been a prediction right for me, but whatever, Nintendo. Octopath Traveler 2 got announced. Pikmin 4 got announced. We saw another very vague look at Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is its new name, and it got a May 12th release date. Do not delay it again, Nintendo. I swear I will lose it. It Takes Two got announced for November. We saw a new... the first wave of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, which gave us a new hero. Uh, we got another. We got a new Splatoon 3 Splatfest. The topic of that is eluding me.
The first Splatfest post launch. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Um, got another look at Sparks of Hope. We got a bunch of N64 updates. We are seeing Mario Party 1 through 3, Pokemon Stadium, GoldenEye, and some others. I think a few other games that are still coming out between now and the next few months. We got a first look at Mario Kart Wave 3, which gave us a look at Merry Mountain and Peach Gardens, which was cool. We got the very, very upsetting announcement to the three people still playing this game that golf was delayed for Switch Sports until the winter. And then we got another look at Bayonetta 3 and a Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe Edition.
We got
That's a
some.
lot of Kirby.
Yeah, we got some recent news that this is a bigger remaster than we expected. Tons of new
Yeah.
copy abilities. At this point, we only got to look at the Robo copy ability. King DDD is sticking with his return to or his Forgotten Land design, more or less, not without the like the face paint and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And we got some more news recently, which we don't need to talk about, but it's shaping up to be a bigger remake than we expected.
It comes out in another month or so. I'm picking it up. I'm somewhat excited for it. I'm not a huge Kirby guy to begin with, so
The other thing that was big here was the fact that there was no Game Boy at all, which was interesting. But in its wake, we also got Mario Party, Mario Stadium, or Pokemon Stadium, and GoldenEye, which are huge,
yeah.
huge games. So, yeah.
I kind of think they're doing like a new system every 2 years because we got NES and SNES in 2018. I think it was 2021 we got N64 and Genesis, so maybe either 2023 or 2024 we'll get
I
like the Game
believe
Boys.
I believe it was 2019. So NSO launched with just NES.
Did it really? Oh,
Yeah,
I
and a
forgot.
year
No, you're
later we
right.
got
Yeah.
SNES, and
And then
then
it was every 2 years.
yeah, so we were expecting to get N64 in 2020.
Yeah.
Shit hit the fan. Yeah. Um.
Ouch. I totally forgot they made us wait a whole year for SNES games.
Yeah. Um.
Jeez, but yeah.
We also got Splatoon 3 this month, which again launched to great success. One of the biggest Switch launches to immediately be topped literally two
It
months
was,
later.
yeah, 2 months
and
later.
and also the biggest Splatoon launch because I was included in that. So this is my first full Splatoon experience from the get go. I enjoyed the single player campaign a whole lot. I was even able to complete After Alterna, which is something that I didn't expect myself to complete. This game was a completely blind run, which is very rare for me because I usually watch someone play through the game first and then play it myself, which is a problem. But I played through this game entirely blind, 100%ed it, like 100%ed it. I even got all the stickers with the maps, which is very finicky at times. And like I said, I beat After Alterna on my own. I had a few rage moments, but I still had a fantastic time with the single player. And then I stepped into the multiplayer. It was awful. I hate it. No, I was kidding. It was a fantastic experience. I haven't gone back to it, so I don't know. I don't really remember my full thoughts. Salmon Run is fun. It really, really depends on your team, because if your team is good, then you can still participate and get enough. Not enough that one person is carrying the team. You still feel like you're important. But if you get like a horrible team and there's not like one person leading the pack, you're fucked. Even if you're
Oh yeah.
like, yeah, because even if you say that you're decently well, you're going to lose within 3 rounds, especially if that big, not big run,
The like Kahuza or
like
whatever his name is.
the mid bosses or whatever. Like you're done after that.
Oh yeah.
Um, the main multiplayer mode, I'm not really too keen on ranked. I don't really like it a whole lot. I don't like tower defense or anything like that. So that's just my personal cup of tea. But I enjoyed Turf Wars 100%. That was a great time. My first Splatfest experience, like I said before, or in the previous episode actually, it was a great time. I enjoyed it. Tricolor battles are still not my cup of tea. I'm just not used to them yet. Splatfest was a lot of fun, but it just seems like unnecessary, quote unquote, forcing to play. Um, the catalog definitely gave me a lot of like fun for the short time that I did play, just keeping me going through games. I can attach on one of the meals, play a bunch of games, and just keep going. Just get another
Yeah.
meal, keep going, just grinding it out. And the catalog was a lot of fun with that. Unfortunately, I missed out on the dab, which sucks.
So did I was no, I was like 4 levels under, and I only didn't reach it because I got sick right before the season
Oh,
ended, so I
damn.
couldn't play for a few days. I was so I was so pissed at
I hope
myself.
I hope that they do bring some of the catalog stuff back, or maybe closer to the end, they'll start giving them away in different ways. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, my first Splatoon experience out the gate was great.
I've been a longtime Splatoon fan since the first game came out on Wii U. It's become one of my favorite IPs of Nintendo. It's always one of my guilty pleasure games I'll play when I don't want to do something more substantial. This game feels more complete, like just gameplay wise than ever. I will admit there is certain moments where I'm like, I kind of want to go back to Splatoon 2 just because of how much content that game got to build up over the first couple years.
Yeah.
But every 3 months, it looks like we're getting at least 2 new maps, a bunch of new weapons, a new catalog. If they said they're keeping this up for 2 years, right? Or something like that, a year and a half, or something like that. It's still a lot of content that's going to come to this game, and I am excited to just keep playing it for the next couple years until the
Yeah.
next system launches. So it was a
Um,
great time.
I guess what was I gonna say too? Shit, I totally forgot. Um, Never mind. Oh, expect some. We got his review earlier in the year, as well of the specifically the multiplayer. I'm still ironing out the kinks on my script writing, so I don't know. I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't started it, but I'm working on a couple of scripts. Hence the reason why Fairy Fountain is ending, and I'm also taking a step back from the main show a little bit, not as much as Hylian is, but
Yeah.
I am working on some scripts for Splatoon, so you guys will get to know my full thoughts in organized script format of the single player campaign, and then my experience of the multiplayer. Probably a year in. Let's just say that's
I want to
probably a good
since
time.
since we're doing it, I want to give like a little hint for whoever watches this. The next video you can expect from me, hopefully before the next direct, is my top 5 expectations and predictions for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm going to be doing a bunch of Zelda content leading up to the game's release, so
Yeah,
look forward to that. I'm a good ways deep into a couple scripts,
yeah.
so hopefully
He's
they're out soon.
he's doing like a Tears of the Kingdom celebration. We're doing the Mario Kart celebration, so it's gonna be a lot of fun this coming year. So
Yes.
back to last year.
Back to last year's programming. I think that's all we need to cover for September. So let's move into October, where I thought we'd see the release of Bayonetta 3. And right on the money.
Yep, I got Bayonetta 3. Do I even have to say it anymore? Mario Party DLC and Game Boy Online. Which, yep,
If it makes you feel better, I was hoping Mario Party would get DLC, but
yeah.
obviously they're too into just every other year, every few year releases.
Again, I expected Mario Party DLC only after the fact that Superstars or no Super got DLC. So
They got it. They got it to add functionality for superstars, though, like just the online play. That's all. That's the only reason why they
yeah,
added it. It was a courtesy. All right, but what actually happened in October was we saw the releases of Nier Automata on Switch, which was, from what I've heard, a fantastic port. Overwatch 2 came out to reception.
it
Not too
was
bad, not
it
too
was
good.
it was definitely a game of this year.
It was a game.
It was the
It was
game.
a game of this year, not game
Yeah,
of the year,
yeah,
game of this year.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Just
Pilot Wing 64 came out on NSO. We got the first character that was revealed in the Nintendo Direct for Xenoblade Chronicles DLC. Persona 5 Royal and Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope both came out within a day of each other. That was
clear. Those
quite
are
nice
there's a
of.
clear thing that you should be playing and a clear thing that you shouldn't be playing. And
Don't
when
be mean to Persona like that.
whoa, whoa,
No, you should be playing both games
yeah,
as I did.
yeah,
But tune into well, it'll already be out by the time you're seeing this video, but
it's out
you know
already.
which one I'm going to be talking about. Bayonetta 3 came out a week after that. But most excitingly of all is we finally got our first trailer of the Mario movie in its own dedicated Mario Direct, where
Yes.
we learn that Chris Pratt spends hours jumping on Koopas.
Yeah, so let's kind of go down the line here. I still want to play Nier. I probably, now that I have a PS5, should just play it on that. Um, the Xenoblade Wave 1 DLC, cute. I'm glad that Tora, the horny bastard, is still around and kicking, um, to a lesser degree, but still. Um,
I'm not going to play any of the post game content of Xenoblade 3 until the story DLC comes out. That's going to be my reason to go back. I know
okay,
there's
all
certain
right.
stuff that I could get.
Spoiler alert.
I know. Spoiler.
There's certain playable characters that you need to
I
experience their
know.
story, their
I
ascension quest.
know a certain Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 character are playable after the credits. I've been told ad nauseum, and I might go back.
What are those? What are those like? I believe is it Ricky's weapon? That's just somewhere in the world. There's like a few of characters' weapons that are just out in the world. What
I've
do those
never
do?
heard about this. I
Oh,
don't
really?
know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never heard about this.
Oh, then you clearly haven't gotten all the landmarks then.
Clearly.
There's some random cave with I think Ricky's stick, and it's just sitting there. I don't know what
I don't want Ricky's stick. Okay, moving on from that.
Persona 5, at least this version of it. I have the PS5 version sitting right there. It's probably going to sit there for a few more months, but let me finish Kingdom Hearts 1 first. I have to replay it again because I bought it on PS5.
There you go.
So I have to get to where I was before, then finish it, then I'll get to Persona 5.
I started playing Persona 5 again because I played it on PS4 a few years back. But I think I'm just fatigued of RPGs right now. I played a lot of them in the last year.
See, I didn't.
So.
I had a severe lack of game playing actually, other than for Let's Plays. So
yeah.
And
all right.
Do you have anything to say about Bayo?
Just besides just touching on the controversy, we talked about it ad nauseum before. That impacted things a little bit. Bayonetta 3 reviewed very well, won Action Game of the Year at the Game Awards, so clearly it's very good. I want to play it eventually.
Yeah, and the Mario movie, fantastic. Get my thoughts on the video. Go watch it.
Yes, we have a video for each trailer that we're going to be talking about here soon. Go check those out.
And Mario and trash bins. Mario and trash bins.
No.
Go ahead. Oh.
No. That's all I'm saying. No. I disagree with you on that, and we can live with that.
All right.
Moving on to November, where obviously The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out, right?
Yep.
Right?
And the Legends DLC.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But no, what actually happened is that all that you had predicted was DLC and Zelda.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we didn't get those, but we did get two Mario Party games on NSO. Ash became the world champion in the anime, which who would have seen that coming?
Yeah.
The long-awaited, much-anticipated Nintendo Switch Sports Golf update came out to universal acclaim.
Universal.
I hear Jeff Keighley was even playing it with Reggie in the backstage of the Game Awards. It Takes Two came out on Switch. I already forgot the name of that Sonic show. No, it was Frontiers, not the anime, not the
Frontiers.
show.
Frontiers.
I already forgot Frontiers came out, but yes,
the
that's
second
true.
trash game of the year.
Oh, poor Sonic. Pokemon Scarlet Violet came out, just blasted all the records ever, and sold 10 million units. And what was it? The first weekend or first week?
Weekend.
Something like that.
Weekend.
Still. It sold over 10 million units in less than 7 days.
Splatoon 3, which already Yeah, it was insane.
And people think the Switch is dying.
Yeah, well,
Anyways,
it is internally dying, but
well, so am I, but that doesn't matter. We
yeah,
got
like your
another
success.
Mario. We got another Mario movie direct. That with this trailer blowing me away, and
Yeah,
another indie world that I just don't remember.
yeah. Again, not very much in it. Sports story. The other sport story game that's not made by the same company.
Yeah,
And then all the farming games that were in the literally the direct just before. Um,
yeah.
uh,
You did miss one game though.
I
It
didn't.
doesn't matter, but Harvestella also came
Oh
out from
yeah,
Square Enix.
I skipped
But
that
we
one for the
didn't
case
play
of
it, so
simplicity.
it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. I just felt like mentioning it.
heard it's good, but I'm not a farmer gamer. So Scarlet and Violet. I know I put out my thoughts on Arceus earlier this year, and I didn't do it. Scarlet and Violet. I think I might still try to do that. I just forgot. Um, I forgot that I even made the Arceus video. To be honest with you. So again, my thoughts, as I have stated multiple times, it's a great game, very ambitious, great story. You know, huge step for the series. Just
Yeah.
obviously it didn't need to come out this year. If it just had a little bit more
Yeah.
time to bake, like the game has the structure and everything else, the bones, perfect. Like it's great.
I
But if
don't
it had a little bit more time in the oven, then the graphics would be better. There would be less lag, and maybe the story and the gameplay would be a little bit even a little bit better because it's already good as it is. It's just
but
everything else is just broken.
I don't know what the pressure was for Game Freak to put out three different Pokemon titles in the span of 12
So
months.
here's my prediction, right? Okay, Pokemon Company has like a list of years and games for things to come out. So in the
Yeah.
case of 2020, obviously the pandemic happened, but Pokemon's still gonna release a Pokemon game. So Pokemon was probably like, okay, Game Freak, it's time to release your Platinum for Sword and Shield, and Game Freak's like, well, what if we did DLC? And Pokemon's like, good, get on it right now. So they get the
I can
DLC.
see that.
2021 rolls around, Pokemon Company comes back to Game Freak and says, all right, it's time for us to finally remake Diamond and Pearl. And Game Freak's like, well, we kind of have a new idea for Diamond and Pearl, and it's a completely new game. And it said, too bad you're still making Diamond and Pearl remakes. So they had Ilka on that, and they are like, okay, here, we'll have Ilka make it, and we'll have our idea. Because obviously it's still heavily inspired off of Diamond and Pearl. So they're like, all right, well, we'll release this. But that doesn't mean shit, because Pokemon Company never does a third release for remakes. So regardless, in 2022, we still needed a Generation 9 as far as Pokemon scheduling goes. So even though Game
Yeah.
Freak was like, all right, we'll give, we'll give Ilka that. We'll work on our passion project here. Literally going back to back right next year, they have to have a Generation 9, and they just didn't have time. They didn't have time
Yeah.
because they wanted to do something bigger and better for themselves, and to its success, but also pointing out clear problems within the higher ups at Pokemon Company.
Yep, their scheduling is so tight, and I get it because they have other entertainment brands they have to deal with. But it always hurts the games in the end.
Yeah. Well, and again, like they don't even need the anime anymore because first of all, it's not even about the specific region anymore. Two, Ash is gone, which is supposed to be based on the main protagonist of the series, so of Red and Blue. So anime doesn't matter anymore, and all you need now is merch, and merch can
Yep.
get delayed. Like, I mean, these didn't, but merch can get delayed. Merch is like the easiest thing that you could delay. And what was the
Yeah.
last thing? Oh, the trading cards. The trading cards update every year anyway because of the World Championship. Um, so I don't understand why they need to attach it to a specific game. Why can't they just call it what one of the packs names? Like Chilling Reign, Chilling Reign. They could just call it Pokemon trading card game Chilling Reign, not necessarily Sword and Shield. And what's weird about it too is they release games that are related to Arceus or sorry, packs that are related to Arceus and Diamond and Pearl remakes, but they're still called Sword and Shield. So why don't you just release the pack name, have it be based on a game, and just wait, like you don't.
Maximum
You can still
profitability.
have that. You can still have that.
But they'd have more money with the games sooner.
And then what are you gonna do with that money? It's not like you're taking that money, reimbursing it back into the
Look,
games.
all I'm saying is it's an easier sell to get little Timmy Pokemon for Christmas than it is in February, March, April.
No, I think it's fine that they release it in November, but like give us like 2 years of breathing room because even
They don't want you to. They don't want you to breathe.
little Timmy that's playing Fortnite probably doesn't want to play Pokemon right now.
It's true. It's college student Georgie that's playing it.
Exactly, and like I said,
But
I guess
yeah,
I could be considered part of the problem for buying both of the games at launch, but it's just like it's clear Game Freak has ideas, and it's clear Game Freak's kind of getting antsy because they're
yeah.
shafting it off to Ilka, which is not even a game company. They're like a UI company. So,
Yes.
anyways,
I mean, Pokemon did what Pokemon do. It sold very well. It broke records. It's making the Switch sell like hotcakes for its fifth holiday season, fifth or sixth. I can't remember at this point.
let's go.
Um, but yeah. And December, where I thought we'd be playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Same.
What did you have?
I had Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and then the Game Awards with Breath of the Wild 2 expansion, assuming that the game would be out,
Yeah.
and a 3D Mario tease.
See, it was the month of threes, just not Xenoblade. Because we got Mario Kart Wave 3, we got Mario Strikers Wave 3, um, we got Bayonetta 3 Part 2. Uh, but
You
no, we
tried.
got those. I did try, it was an effort. Um, Ash was announced to be leaving the Pokemon anime early in the new year. Um, Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion released. We got the Game Awards, which had another clip at the Mario movie, which looks fantastic. Fire Emblem Engage DLC. For some reason, they're announcing Fire Emblem DLC this far out at the Game Awards, but
Yeah.
listen to last
Hey,
month's episode if you want to hear me rant about that.
at least it was like a first party game instead of fucking
That's true.
absolutely nothing or fucking uh, Bravely Default 2.
Yeah. And then outside of that, we got the aforementioned Bayonetta Origins, something, 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 Cesara. That's coming out in March.
Something something.
I
SZA.
don't remember.
It's that singer's name,
It's a
SZA.
long. It's a long title.
Yeah.
And is SZA
Just
doing a
Bayonetta
cameo? Good
Origins.
for
Keep it
her.
simple.
Yes. Mario Kart's final wave of the year was quite the good
Yeah.
one.
It was a good way to end of the
A
year. Again, the city tracks are starting to blend together. Um,
little bit, yeah.
but Rainbow Road, perfect way to end the year. We're probably gonna do it
Maple
again.
Treeway.
Maple Treeway. We're probably gonna do the same again late next year with Wii
Wii
Rainbow
Rainbow
Road because
Road.
Tor has just announced Wii Rainbow Road for its game. Um, but what are the other tracks?
Um, Boo Lake.
Oh yeah, Boo
Merry
Lake, Merry
Mountain.
Mountain. We just talked about it, so it's
Um,
just like
Rock Mountain. And then Peach Gardens.
yeah. So changes made to the older ones, specifically Peach Gardens and Boo Lake. Great. Some of them are still mediocre. Playing the tour tracks finally on console is still great, and just Rainbow Road is definitely just the highlight there. And Maple Treeway, obviously.
Yeah, anything else we need to talk about for the year before we wrap up this final episode?
Mario Strikers and Nintendo Switch Sports were just phenomenal games this year. I can't believe nobody had put them on their game of the years or even top 10, even top 50 games, even top 100 games of the year. No. No, I think that this year was starting to become a good year. It was meant to be 2017 too. It was destined to be 2017 too.
Then
And
Zelda had to go and crap all over us.
yeah,
Thanks, Aonuma.
then as the year went on, it just kind of just got worse and worse. We got some things that fill out the lineup that were still pretty good, and I'm talking like after Splatoon 3. It just seemed like there was
Yeah.
just nothing after that. We obviously have all those great N64 games, and then we just had trash being Sonic and Mario and Rabbids. But anyway, uh, yeah, there's just a couple. There's not really too many like stick out games that came out this year. I know I still want to play Tunic and uh, Crisis Core, which is again surprising that it was on Switch. But yeah, just a lot of fill out titles, filling out the lineup. You know, ports, remasters, collections like Resident Evils, all that. Filling in the gaps, even with the N64. The games that we did get, highest highs for the Switch. Some of the highest higher highs, even with Pokemon, and it just kind of was. I guess say it was a good year, just a weirdly paced year.
We went into this year expecting fantastic releases. We expected Zelda. We expected we'd see like a new 3D Mario, maybe a new Mario Kart. I
Even
think
with
looking
Mario
back,
Kart, like we expected a new Mario Kart, but what we got, even though it's a little bit more mild than a new Mario Kart, we still got great content. It was still a
looking
great year.
back, the year was great. Next year, 2023 is going to be even stronger just because Zelda, we still have tons of new announcements we still haven't gotten yet. We're going to have a new Pikmin, a new Fire Emblem, probably some Pokemon DLC, a bunch of DLC throughout the year. I think I'd rank 2022 third overall. I think 2017 is still the best year.
Mhm.
And then I think I'd rank it right below 2019. But it was a great year.
What
I
else was
am
in
definitely not
2019?
disappointed.
I can only think of Luigi's Mansion and Link's Awakening.
Luigi's Mansion, Link's Awakening, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Mario Maker 2,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Astral Chain,
New suit.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, I can agree with you. And then 2020, and then or 2021, and then 2020. I think.
And then 2018 at the very bottom.
What was in 2018?
Literally Mario Tennis, a bunch of Wii U ports, and Smash Ultimate and Super Mario Party, basically.
Oh yeah, then I put that obviously above 2020 then, but
I don't know. I think 2020 overall was just a little bit better than 2018.
I mean all they
2018,
had
for
for
me at
me was
least.
Paper Mario and Hyrule Warriors.
I had Hyrule Warriors. I had the Mario remasters. Animal Crossing came out in 2020.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Yeah, 2018 at the bottom. You're right. You're right. I totally forgot about the
Yeah.
Mario.
I mean, really, it was the Wii U ports in 2018, and then Smash held it up.
Oops, I just completely showed off my entire thing on camera. I totally forgot what I was doing. All right. Uh, yeah, but no, how this year stacks up, just probably second, third place. It's pretty good overall.
It's going to be a great 2023, and then probably going into 2024, we'll see the next generation system. This is probably the last full year we'll have with the Switch.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
look forward to it. We've got some great games coming.
If we didn't make this decision sooner, I think that Fairy Fountain probably would have been a good time to end it next year anyway. I mean, we could relaunch it with the new launch of the Switch, the next console getting
We'll see.
hyped up and stuff. But right now, I think people are fatigued of Nintendo news because it was really really good at the beginning, especially after the commercial failure of the Wii U, and we just hopped on the train maybe too little, too late. So.
We're getting back to we've been back to how Nintendo should be going forward. It's the new norm. We both had a great time the last couple years making this show what it was, but we've also kind of realized there's other things we can be focusing our time on. I can appear on the main show, and we can still come here, talk about Nintendo Directs, our predictions, stuff like that. It's going to be less of just us, but we'll still be around.
Yeah. So it'll be less podcasts, but more content in general. Because you'll probably see Highland's face every 1 or 2 weeks. So, still
but
not completely done.
I do expect to be back in this chair pretty soon to be talking about our predictions for what will likely be the February Direct. I've got a few videos in the works that'll be coming out over the next few months. Thank you guys for watching this show for the last 2 years.
Is there anything else that you want to say about Fairy Fountain as a whole? Like just closing it out?
No, not really. It's been a great chapter of my life. I've loved the guests we were able to bring on, even when I wasn't around for them. Because if you remember, I had a little bit of a shoddy attendance record in
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, I think that it was a great idea. The new because this idea spawned out of a spin-off episode that we had just about the Nintendo Direct, and I think we're still going to basically continue doing those moving forward.
yeah, for real,
Um,
they're great videos to make.
the problem was is that even in 2021 we were feeling it. It was just like, these videos aren't getting as many views as the main show. Sometimes it would get more, but most of the time, generally, it would just get less. And every time that we would come here, the news was already irrelevant.
Yeah.
And it also came from the idea that we had the news in the main show originally, but the only person that would actually talk about it with me would be you, even though Liam came to me and said, well, I like talking about that. No one said anything. When were you going to tell me? That's why I created this show, because eventually we just accumulated more news. And I think that we've gained a stronger bond and a better friendship from this as well. And
Absolutely.
I think that it opened up a lot more opportunities. And I think without this, we wouldn't be able to, without this show, we wouldn't be able to continue making more content outside of podcasts, because you're motivating me. You are now into the video space, because previously you were in the writing space, which I don't know if our videos generally get more look. I mean, it's watching a video is a lot harder than reading an article, but I don't know.
To give some insight on my writing path. So I started out writing right before the Switch was announced in like their presentation and like the reveal trailer. My views were pretty good. I get about 90 to 100 on an average article.
But it's an article. It's different from a video.
But you don't know if anyone's read it. True. You know they've opened it.
Well, the same thing with videos too. If it says
well, yeah, but I mean, it's more of a commitment to open and to sit down and watch a video, yes. But it's also a lot easier to abandon an article.
True, I guess.
So, I mean, and I get more just direction. I can do more with videos.
Do you think that this will be, I mean, I know you kind of dropped the ball a little bit, especially after Fairy Fountain, but do you think that, if your articles were successful, do you think that, like, you would pursue that as, like, a career?
I mean, that was always kind of like my goal. I thought either a gaming journalist, or my dream job, like, in my head, I don't know how to get to there. It was like working at Treehouse at Nintendo. So, I mean,
yeah.
I think ultimately, if it would have stayed the course that was going, I just would have taken a step back and just, like, kept on posting my thoughts on Twitter, because I was getting more engagement through tweets than anything else before I joined this show.
So this is probably a good alternative, and if not replacement.
Yeah, it's a great alternative.
So if the more scripts, which are basically just voiced articles,
exactly.
I think you'll have a better time here after post Fairy Fountain World. But
I mean, I've already been with this channel for basically 2 years now, over 2 years if you count my guest appearances, and I mean, you've still got me, so obviously I'm not drained yet.
I just don't know if, like, the videos, because they're a little bit harder to work on, means you're gonna drop those faster than the articles, or not.
No. Here's the thing, I didn't have deadlines for the articles. It was just a matter of... I don't have deadlines
for you. I'm not your boss. You own this.
You know what I mean?
Own
this
like, channel more than I do, or I mean, not
but I
more
mean,
than
the
I
difference
do, as
is,
much as I do.
I thrived on my predictions pieces when it came to news and stuff. If I wasn't on the ball, I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you think this keeps you more motivated, because I'm like, hey,
yeah,
are we gonna do predictions today?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, like, every month I was like, oh, I have to sit down and have a discussion, which I love doing.
So
but it was like,
almost like our back and forth is kind of like what's keeping us going.
I mean, the only times I could really dip and not show up is when you had, like, a guest to back you up.
Yeah, or if it's a dead month too. Those were the hardest, I think.
We never skipped a single month, even when we had, like, a 30 or 40-minute video.
Except for October, because I was a fucking moron, and then I found it.
We found it. We did make it, though.
And it's gonna have 0 views for the end of time, because nobody gives a shit about October.
No, that one's performing better than our November one.
No. No, I swear the last I looked it was 0. Hold on.
Nope.
Last I looked it was exactly 0, and it was the most
That
recent
was our
video.
no. To my knowledge, I'm on the channel right now too.
Maybe
Yeah, no, it's got 4 views, and November's got 2.
what?
Dead serious.
Hold on.
Okay,
October 4 views, November 2. Wow. What the hell?
Uh-huh.
All right, well, you guys
and this
can
is why we're
clearly
ending the show.
Yeah, this is why we're ending the show. I mean, you can see the other episodes. Even our update video got more views than this. I know it's a dedication to watch shows, but I think with our clips and shorts that are coming this year, more scripted content as well, we will have more content for you while also still keeping our traditional routine.
But anyways, thank you guys for watching the last 2 years. If you want more
If
of
you
us right
watched.
now, we have the Game of the Year video. We have our 2023 predictions. We have the last 24 or so some odd videos of Fairy Fountain just sitting in the vault.
I will be posting shorts of, as our final hurrah, there will be some shorts of the show because I know we've had some funny and great moments. So,
Yes, we have.
I'll probably
But
even do like a final video too, saying like best moments of Fairy Fountain or whatever.
I would love that.
And also, we have all that, and as of the time of recording this video, and will be released 2 weeks from now, you have a Mario and Rabbids video out now.
So we've been teasing that. I did a review on Mario Rabbids. It's besides like my top 5 hopes for Tears of the Kingdom, it's gonna be my last kind of like just off the cuff video. So I mean, I do have a script in the works for the Zelda video, but I do think it's just gonna be me sitting in front of the camera just talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
okay, let's actually wrap this up before
I just wanted to. I just wanted to
No,
like
it's
end
good.
Fairy Fountain. So
yeah. If anyone's been here since day one, thank you. If you found us from just one of our collaborations over the last couple years, thank you. And yeah, if you liked what you see, give us a like, subscribe, and you guys will see us all soon in the next videos.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, guys.